Thank you.
We are wrestling. We are wrestling.
Don, D-O-N?
Dick, got it.
Make sure to subscribe, baby. And
We are wrestling.
Let's go, man.
Let's get it.
Still getting the hang of this,
guys.
Still getting the hang of this, man.
Back on another live stream. What's going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. We today are your hosts, Dan and Ben, 2/3 of We Are Wrestling. Don is absent today, but that's okay. The show goes on. But before we get into what we're going to be getting into on this live, make sure if you want to help us to subscribe down to all of our channels, make sure you smash that like button down below. Hit those post bell notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And you already know the grind is fucking real. And make sure to fucking follow all of us on social media. What's going on today, Dan? How you doing?
What's going on, man? So, as you guys can see, we're vamping things up, man. Have artwork, and it's just, you know, instead of just a plain background, it feels nice. I decided to go a little crazy since Donnie's not here today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Absolutely, dude. It's honestly so cool, like finally stepping away from like our original platform where we used to, do all of like the recordings and everything. And now we finally landed on a platform that allows us to not only live stream, we get to have our backdrops going and everything like that. We get all of our icons, and eventually we're gonna be able to pop down a little screen somewhere down here below where we're gonna be doing some fucking reactions and shit. So it's gonna be fucking sweet once we really start figuring out the platform that we're on now. So, what's the topic that we got for discussion today, man?
Well, I figured we'd talk about a lot of different wrestling news and different wrestling topics or whatever. But the main thing I really want to cover today is the whole Bray Wyatt situation because there's just so much
Um,
revolving around it.
Before we do that, we should probably just say this whole white rabbit thing, because for the little off chance that we are wrong, I don't want to spread the false message. But obviously, with you and I passionate
Yeah.
about this, many people are obviously passionate about this. Some people think it's an absolute miss. But honestly, I'm kind of digging the subliminal messages that we're kind of getting. Almost kind of like seems like a darker, reminiscent version of Jericho's return back in '07, how it was very cryptic.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then, but people kind of knew like exactly who the fuck it was. Like everybody just kind of knew, and it gives me that same energy. So the fact that we're kind of going back to that era a little bit in terms of how we're promoting this, but also kind of keeping it modernized in this whole like new world that we're living in with technology, it's kind of creative, man. And I'm really, I have to say, as a fan, I'm hooked. I'm hooked, man. I'll bite.
I'm hooked too, man. Now I sent something in the group chat yesterday, and I'm gonna have to pull it up, whatever, because I can't remember offhand everything that I mentioned, but it was something I saw online revolving this whole Bray Wyatt scenario. And it was something about like there's a YouTube channel that's been around since like 2006. It has two videos on it. It has Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit that got released 15 years ago. And it also has another 3-second video that has a bunch of numbers or whatever. That's like sort of like it's like the area code or whatever of like somewhere in Vermont or New Hampshire, Rhode Island, somewhere around there.
And it's like a place called like Wyndham or something like that.
Yeah, it says this is the post or whatever. It was on Ringside News or whatever, some Facebook page or whatever that I saw last night. And it
Yeah.
said White Rabbit Records YouTube channel, which is actually a legitimate thing. You guys can look it up. White Rabbit Records YouTube channel, whose only video is Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit from 15 years ago, has a new video that just says 04062, which is the postal code of Cumberland County, Maine. So Maine,
Yeah.
home to a town called Wyndham, Maine.
Yeah. It's very interesting and very cryptic, but before I can really elaborate on that, we actually have a comment. Alex Johnson says, "We are wrestling. What if Bray Wyatt returns as the new leader of Judgment Day?" Oh, and we got another message right after that. To answer Alex's message, I'm not sure how I would feel about him integrating a Judgment Day storyline in general or even yet. I feel like that group right now is very separate of where I think me and Dan kind of both think we think it's going with Matt
Yeah.
Riddle and
Yep.
Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules, and I think that's where eventually he will surface to kind of go after Riddle because his last feud was Randy Orton, and that's obviously Randy's boy. So it only makes sense with a lot of things that we've seen surface. So the next next comment that we got says Byron Cutler. Is the Extreme Rules 2022 match card extreme enough for y'all? That's
Yeah,
a
let's
very
get
good
it.
question.
Let's get into that, man.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I want to hear your thoughts on it. I'll bring up the match card or whatever so we can go over
Yeah,
that real quick.
definitely, man. But from what I can pull off the top of my head, one of the matches that I'm really looking forward to has to be the fucking the strap match between Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
I think it's brilliant, because it's again, it's very different than what we've really gotten or seen in WWE in a while. We're in a very big shift in terms of creative and in terms of the vision of where the company's going to be going forward, and we are getting some of those more mature matches and more, creative matches again. And it's having two Goliaths like those dudes are it's gonna tear the fucking house down, man. And every match is getting a stipulation, which makes it even more like
Yep.
intriguing and makes you want to connect with the whole thing, and makes you want to be there, man.
So I'm gonna go over the match card real quick. This is not a prediction video. We'll be doing that at a later date because
Yeah.
we do want to involve Donnie in that. But match number 1 on the card, it says Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Match number 2, Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins Fight Pit match.
A fight pit match. I'm curious as to what that entails.
I think it's almost like a kind of like a UFC like octagon. That's what I think it is, or whatever. Because I hear a lot of people say that match more than likely is going to be main eventing, because apparently it's a pain in the ass to deconstruct that entire thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be sort of like the octagon in UFC. Match number 3, Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross strap match. Match number 4, Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a ladder match.
That's
And
gonna be fucking sweet.
One match that I'm looking forward to is Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit.
Hell
match.
yeah, man. Dude, it's been a long time since we've gotten a really good I Quit match, and to have the Rated R Superstar push over, like, I can't even say a new talent because Finn Balor's been around for a while, even as Fergal Devitt and everything. You know, like he's just incredible. So seeing those two actually go at it in a long-standing match, with a match of that legendary caliber in terms of Extreme Rules matches, it's going to be an exciting feat. Alex Johnson says, at We Are Wrestling, Liv Morgan is in her 86th day as SmackDown Women's Champion.
And then, in my humble opinion, she's done jack shit with her title run. So,
all right, to put that a little bit more humbly, to put that a little bit more clean and a little bit more humbly, continue, man. I'll let you go.
With the amount of momentum she had winning the title. I mean, she hasn't really done anything with the title or whatever to have her title run mean anything, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I like her as a talent. I just don't feel like she should be the women's champion because, I mean, she hasn't been
anything like memorable. All right, so like again, to put the first comment a little bit more on the PG route and a little bit more on the humble route. No, there has not been anything extravagant about it. I think it's just another one of those Kofi Mania instances where this person has been very deserving of a reign, but it's more so is because we've wanted it to happen. We've wanted it to happen, and they listen to the fans. I will say that out of both, Kofi's story was a lot more compelling. It was a lot more believable, I guess you could say. Like, it was definitely a lot more organic, and because it made sense.
He was also a lot more deserving than Liv Morgan was.
For sure, and humbly I will agree. But I will say though, for how she has been booked to be able to keep it this long has made it worth it. Like, it hasn't been memorable whatsoever, but it has been decent for what I thought it was going to be and how short I thought it was going to be. So I'm not going to lie, she has been putting in work, and her match with fucking Shayna Baszler was incredible. I will say, like, that really sparked my interest to see what she can do further with further training. Best one, Donnie. Sorry I couldn't make it on the live stream today, boys. Work sucks. Man, we miss you every time, brother. But hey, we're in uniform today for you, man. We're in uniform. We understood the assignment.
The one day you're not here.
Man, Dan, I gotta since you're matching over there with your hat, dude. I should hand you these banger shades through the camera here. Here you go, brother.
Yeah, let me grab
the orange banger shades, bro.
Let me grab those real quick.
I mean, realistically, I could run them to you because you're literally right up the street, but the hood and all that shit. So I wouldn't survive 5 minutes out there.
Is 3 Man one of your favorite tag team, Danny?
Yes, it is. Alex Johnson. Alex Johnson, We Are Wrestling. What do you think will happen in the Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules? Which one? Bray Wyatt will return at Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Xavier Joffrey's. I agree.
The Extreme Rules match is the Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey.
I'm gonna say this right now. Liv's gonna retain. Charlotte's coming back and interfering. Ronda's gonna fucking lose, sparking a feud. They're gonna try and get a number one contender, but by the time that the number one contender can actually go against the champion, it's not gonna be Liv Morgan. I have a feeling that's the route they're gonna take. So, like, Liv's gonna drop it along the way to somebody else, but it's gonna be Ronda and Charlotte battling it out feud wise to get somebody to compete for it. So something like that.
I was hoping that Shayna Baszler was gonna win the title, and it was gonna sort of lead into a feud between her and Ronda Rousey. Because I
Oh,
mean,
fucking yeah, dude.
I feel like that makes sense.
Oh, dude, and it was so good to see Shayna back too. Like and under Triple H's wing, you could tell, like, just even creatively, promo wise, like you could tell that Shayna was really a lot more comfortable in front of the camera, speaking, portraying herself, having the chip on her shoulder. It's like we got that Shayna Baszler back.
Yeah.
It's like almost it's the same thing I have problem with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle,
Yeah.
what we're missing out of Kurt Angle, like, don't get me wrong, he's a fucking legend. But the thing that we were missing out of Kurt Angle is his almost pitbull like aggression. That was lost along the way somewhere. And same thing with
Yeah.
Shayna, but I feel like that was a Vince thing. And now that Triple H is ahead of creative, Shayna rather is a fucking Triple H fucking product. Yeah, it's gonna go there. Like Shayna at some point is gonna get a very decent push because she is very overdue for a title.
I mean, Shayna Baszler, I mean, she was one of the most dominating forces on the women's division in NXT.
And that
She is coming from the UFC, same thing as Ronda Rousey. I mean, just
it makes
pairing
sense,
them
man.
two up either
It's
in a
fucking
feud
money.
or as a tag team, I mean, it is
It's
money. I
money,
mean,
bro.
that's like, if you don't do that, you're pretty much like taking all that money, lighting it up in a blaze and just watching
You're
it burn.
basically
You know?
repeating Vince's bad steps again. But Alex Johnson says at We Are Wrestling, I hope Triple H brings back the NXT version of Asuka. And honestly, we were actually just elaborating on that with Shayna. I really do. We need that Empress of Tomorrow back, not this fucking dancy, wacky ass fucking, like, still a very much so a powerhouse, still very much so, Asuka, but it's not the Asuka that everybody's, come to know and love. And that's where it's being missed a little bit in the mark. So I do have to agree with you, Alex. I
Bro,
do.
I remember, man, remember when Asuka was out and she, everybody was like, "Oh, I can't wait till Asuka comes back. It's gonna be so fucking amazing."
Dude, yeah.
And all they've done so far is pair her up with Alexa Bliss, and I don't even think that makes sense. I always thought Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan would have made more of a sense for tag team because they're so similar.
Dude, honestly, yeah, same. I have to 1,000% agree with you. I feel like that was, an angle that they should have gone just because, of everything that you just stated. Um, I think that at some point when things start to kind of, cool down from all of the gas that we're pressing, and we're still on the very much so on the gas because, I stated back in another talk show with you guys, fucking Triple H has been on the gas in terms of creative changes and,
Yep.
returns, rebranding, all of that shit. He had no plans on slowing down, and he still is not slowing down. And we're still a part of that very much so gas pedal pushing. So when it starts to, the dust settles a little bit, I have a feeling then we'll really start to kind of see the formation and, the repackaging of some superstars. Alex Johnson says at We Are Wrestling, I hope Alexa Bliss brings back the goddess gimmick. I don't. I want to see her do something different, but not anything Fiend related.
I mean, her goddess gimmick was the most over gimmick that she's fucking had. So, I
But
mean,
that
that makes
also,
sense.
but it also typecasts you, and you want to be one of the superstars that can be fluid in order
But I
to
mean,
thrive in the business and to stay
she's
relevant.
she's not the goddess gimmick right now, and she's not this,
I
fiend-like
don't
character,
know,
whatever. And
bro.
I don't feel like
I
it's
don't
over.
I don't know what her fucking gimmick is right now at this point. I don't know what it is. There's no solid base for Alexa Bliss, and like her return, awesome. There was a huge fucking pop and shit, whatever. But she hasn't done anything great since she's been back. And
Mhm.
and I feel like that also lies in the fact of not having a base gimmick. And you
Yeah.
have to have some kind of character, and I feel like she's really fucking lacking in that sense, and that could hurt your career badly.
Yeah. By the way, I do want to mention real quick that we have 11 people on here. It's amazing at noontime. I thought everybody was going to be at work or school.
Seriously. Thank you, guys.
If anybody writes in the chat and we miss your comment, it's not intentional, but a sure way for us to definitely 100% see your comment is sending in a super chat. It lights it up in like different colors or whatever, and like really bold or whatever. So pretty much everybody can see it. I just wanted to put that out there because I don't know how many people we're gonna have in the live stream, and I don't want anybody
Yeah.
mad that we missed their questions. So
Alex Johnson at We Are Wrestling. I hope Nikki ASH drops the superhero gimmick. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Bro, she had
Nobody
a
likes it.
on Raw. I didn't watch it, but on Raw, apparently she got pissed off and she took off her mask and threw it across the ring.
Really?
Ah,
Okay,
I
so
heard
maybe
that.
we are
So,
dropping it eventually, and I hope she splits from Dewdrop, and I hope that Dewdrop eventually turns back into fucking Piper Niven.
I hope so, bro. Like this whole dewdrop, like, I mean, that's
Dewdrop.
kind of like when you really like break it down and think about it, right? That almost reminds me that like it makes me think of like them fat shaming her because dewdrop, it makes this really fat woman. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Yeah,
trying to be
dude. I
negative
don't
or mean,
see
but
it. No, and yeah, is Dewdrop a small chick? No, but the fucking chick is strong as fuck, dude. If you ever see like her training videos, dude, the chick is a fucking powerhouse, man. I would not fuck with her. She would demolish
yeah,
me, dude. Fuck, like she is a fucking monster, but she needs good guidance under Triple H's creative, and
yeah.
I really feel like this having her off TV right now. I hope this is a way to repackage her back into Piper Niven or something better because I honestly feel like she has the means to be another wonder of the world if under the right guidance. I do see a lot of potential in Dewdrop. I do, but it needs to be Piper Niven or somebody else better because she has the attitude. The Scottish accent just helps entirely as a
Mhm.
bad guy. Like even as a
Imagine
face,
her
as
as
Drew
like,
McIntyre.
ma-
Like
imagine her as like a female version of Drew McIntyre.
for a while they wanted to do that, but they both said no. They wanted to keep it separate. But at the same time, like she does have the potential to be that kind of level threat in the women's division if put under the right guidance. And I would love that. Alex Johnson at We Are Wrestling. I love the Nikki Cross gimmick that came from NXT. Absolutely unhinged Nikki Cross. Play with
Oh,
me, Becky. Goddamn, 2 comments altogether. What were you about to say, Dan, to Alex's
yeah,
comment?
bro. Like Nikki Cross, man. That's who she needs to be. Like I remember she used to come out with that like hard ass like metal
Hell
music,
yeah,
where
man.
like pull her hair and she used to run down the ring and just go all fucking crazy and
Yeah,
buck
she was part of
like
a member of Sanity, right?
oh yeah,
The
she's
Sanity stable with Damo
her
Mackel or
her yeah, her husband was an
Damo.
NXT, yep, NXT talent. Oh my god, we got a lot. We got a
Yeah,
lot to
dude.
digest, Ben.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Let's check this one out.
John Athlete 45 for life at We Are Wrestling. Trip needs to bring back the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne as well as Dominic Jakovic. See, I hear a lot of good things about Dominic
Dijakovic.
Dijakovic, rather. I don't know how to pronounce. Sorry, I butchered that. But I've heard a lot of good things about him. I never really got to see his base stuff in NXT or anything. But Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, absolutely. But if Dominic could benefit by going back to his old gimmick, then absolutely, I want that for anybody.
Ben,
Anybody.
is this like your lost brother or something? Why is this profile picture? It looks like you, like
Maybe.
a younger picture of you. All
Oh
you
my
all
god,
you
my family.
all you, all you Filipinos look alike, man.
John for
Oh,
athlete, are you Filipino, man? All right, so Kenny Choi, is Triple H gonna bring back Nikki Cross gimmick?
we hope.
Maybe. I think
We hope.
that's where we're going. I think even fucking Triple H thought that shit was stupid. Was like, yeah, we're gonna drop this whole mass bullshit. And Nikki's probably like, thank you.
Yeah.
Johnny for life again. Was never a fan of the superhero gimmick since day one. Same here,
I
man.
don't think anybody was unless you're like a 5-year-old kid
I
or
think that
something.
one was to appease the fans in Vince's eyes. I mean, she honestly,
Yeah.
I have to give it to Nikki Cross, man. Like she has digested everything that Vince has ever told her to do, and she's ran with it. That makes you a grade A player in my book, and she really does deserve so much more. And I hope that with again Triple H being involved and her being a Triple H gal, she gets a good, decent push at least, and even a career. It doesn't even have to be a title run, but give her a good career, give her a good story to be a part of, bring back a good gimmick, or make her
Yep.
give her some creative freedom to make her own, like let her be who she wants to be because Nikki Cross, man, she's talented. I have to say, as much as I don't like the superhero gimmick, I can't say she didn't kill it because she did.
Absolutely.
She did it. I have to give respect where it's due, and Nikki Cross is fucking grade A player, man. She's another Miz. She's a grade A fucking player. Fucking I have to give it, like they really rock what they're given.
Yeah, regardless if I like it or not, the fact I appreciate and respect anybody that can try and get a gimmick over, even if it's dumb.
Especially if they don't fucking like it.
Yeah.
Alex Johnson at We Are Wrestling. When do you think Tegan Knox will come back to WWE? Dan, I'll let you answer that because I know absolutely nothing about Tegan Knox, really.
To be honest, I don't either, bro. Like I watched
Oh, shit.
NXT, but I watched very, very little. I do know Tegan Knox was a big name in like the black and gold era of NXT.
Yeah.
Especially when it was like on the WWE network and it was like only an hour. I didn't really like dive into NXT until it was on USA network or whatever.
Yeah.
I just have a habit of not wanting to look for things like unless it's like right there in front of my face. I'm very lazy. So
I gotta say in the same regard, like definitely in a lot of ways too. But yeah, I've never really ever been familiar with NXT except for some of the call ups and
yeah.
like I watched NXT here and there. So like I already knew about Malachi
Bro,
Black.
I
Knew about all
remember,
these
man.
guys.
I remember. I watched. I want to say it was NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and I talk about this match very often to people whenever people ask me my opinion about NXT Black and Gold. It was Ricochet and Aleister Black versus the Viking Raiders. And I remember
Ooh,
messaging you right
they
after
were a
that match, and
fucking
I was like, "Bro,
phenomenal
you need."
tag team,
I was like, "Bro, you need to watch this shit, man." I was like, "You need to
bro.
fucking watch that match like right now."
Dude, one of my favorite Ricochet and Aleister Black matches, along with Mustafa Ali, was that one 6-man tag match where they all were doing superhero moves in the ring, and they all just ended up just sitting right in the middle of the ring with like fucking doing Aleister Black shit. That shit was fucking awesome. Kenny
Yeah,
Choi, what I really want to see is LA Knight gimmick back. Well, they're on their way to doing that. If you already haven't told, they're already kind of hinting at that. Tegan Knox
yeah,
is
and
pretty
the
injury prone. Yeah.
on SmackDown or whatever, um Max Dupree, like
Dupuis.
he mentioned like LA. He was cutting a promo
You
or
need a
whatever, and
knight.
he said something along like that's really close to LA, and he like hyphened LA like LA, so people would understand what he was talking about and referencing. Can't remember the full. That was a couple weeks ago, but they are hinting at it, and apparently Max Dupree is getting like really angry whenever his team loses or whatever, and it's almost like he's transitioning.
Like
You know what I
he's
mean?
about to fucking bounce, separate himself, and he's gonna let Maxine take full control of the maximum male models.
Bro,
Dude,
like
I
LA
don't.
Knight, man. LA Knight was so fucking talented, bro. Like the fact that they don't even have
Yeah,
him wrestling, they have him as like a manager guy. Like I think that's just wasting him right
They're
there. You
like,
might
"Hey,
as well fucking
man, you're 38 going into 40. You're getting a little up there in age, so like you're gonna have to transfer into the managerial role so you don't absolutely get injured, and then we have to put you on the back burner." But
tell that to
it's not
Brock Lesnar, Roman
happening.
Reigns, and fucking Bobby Lashley.
see, I mean, Tegan Knox is pretty injury prone, but her gimmick doesn't translate in her main roster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I don't know, man.
I said, I'm not too familiar with Tegan Knox. Like if I saw a picture, I'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like
Yeah,
I remember her now, but like just off the top of my head, I honestly don't. They
Alex
have
Johnson. What's up?
I noticed in NXT they had a lot of performers and gimmicks or whatever. Like they have very similar names. Like they're different, but they sound similar. So
Yeah.
you get
You get kind of
misconstrued them.
confused and like they get kind of lost in the fold that way. Like and that's like another important thing is like naming yourself because
Like
it's
Shotzi,
very
Tegan
easy.
Knox, like like they're very
Shotzi Blackheart.
yeah.
I do like Shotzi. We are wrestling. I hope that when Shotzi wrestles on SmackDown this Friday night, that she brings her tank back. I honestly wish that she would bring her tank back because that also really, entrances really do also put the standard for the superstar that is coming out to their music and their entrance. So that really
Mhm.
sets the bar for them, and that really gets them on a certain level. When it comes to their adrenaline that they need to be on to be able to take those bumps in the ring. And when you take that away, that can really damage, the morale a little bit, and that can damage the adrenaline rush that you need to kind of get there, and that can really start you off stiff. So I really hope that
Yep.
for her sake that she's able to get that back because that was a part of her gimmick, man. Kenny Choi.
Yeah, somebody came in my watch along, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and said that I heard tonight that Shotzi has her tank backstage or whatever. And Shotzi came out later on in the night and she didn't
Ooh.
have it. So I was like,
Y'all are
whatever.
teasing too much, man. Y'all are teasing too much. When LA Knight was in Impact Wrestling, he was a superb heel. Again, man, I really need to like look into LA Knight's career because I'm hearing so much buzz about this guy. Like a lot of
I didn't really start watching him until he had that feud with Cameron Grimes, and Ted DiBiase was involved, and they had like a bunch of like cool like segments or whatever. Like I remember Cameron Grimes won the $1 million title, and then he ended up him or LA Knight, I can't remember which one, ended up like throwing it away in the trash can. And I remember they had a bunch of segments where Ted DiBiase would be like earlier on today or whatever, it showed like them like looking at a really expensive house to buy, and Cameron Grimes would show up and buy it from out underneath him when he was, supposed to be this rich guy. Like
Yeah.
some of the stuff was fucking awesome. I enjoyed it.
John Elite 45 for life. Will Scarlett ever wrestle on the main roster now that she's back with Cross, or still be Cross's manager? So from what I heard,
I want her
oh,
to be
you
Cross's
wanna go first?
manager. I like she's her and Cross are better as a cohesive unit. If she
It
were
does,
to
because it also
wrestle,
helps his story too. It's part of his gimmick, right?
if she were to wrestle, I feel like they would end up splitting them up, and I don't want that to happen.
See, all right. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say that for right now, she's gonna be forever Cross's manager. Well, not forever, but I think she's gonna be Cross's manager, and I think that's kind of the route they're gonna take. However, I do see her doing something in the ring eventually, but not as like an actual like long-term deal. It's going to be every so often, maybe an intergender tag team match, or a once in a while type of thing, just to kind of add some special spark in terms of stipulation. Maybe I can kind of see it there,
Yeah.
but as far as being a an actual performer, I don't think so. I think she's just here for Cross specifically, but that honestly again it's very reminiscent to almost the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser and from like the 90s and shit. When it comes to Emotep, the main mummy, Anak Son of Moon was his, lover and all that shit. And that was basically like his lifeline and his power source. That was like his meaning for everything. And that kind of resonates with Karrion Kross's character as well. Like that was like his power source in a way, and that's like basically his weakness. So I honestly have to say that I think it'll be a managerial thing until something happens in that capacity. I feel like and if I was in part of creative, that's how I would do it.
I wouldn't mind them doing like sort of like a like an intergender tag team match once in a while, whatever, if it makes
Yeah.
sense, obviously, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
LA
like
Knight
I said.
or Karen Cross has a feud with somebody that also has somewhat of a female involved with, their gimmick or whatever. I don't know, just something that makes sense.
Yeah. Again, it'd be something special for stipulation in terms of storyline purpose and all that. Alex Johnson, We Are Wrestling. Shotzi's Tank has been backstage at SmackDown recently. Yep, we just covered that.
Yeah.
But I think they're definitely teasing her getting it back for her gimmick. Kenny Choi, Scarlett doesn't need to wrestle. She's part of Cross's presentation and entrance. Yep, that just covered that as well. I
Like I said,
definitely 100% agree.
I don't necessarily think that needs to like be her entire legacy. Like I wouldn't mind her getting in the ring and rolling around or whatever if it makes sense though. I wouldn't like throw her in
Don't
with
just
just
to
like
fucking do it.
anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't
Like
ever just do something to do it just for, a cash grab. Like, no, just do it for purposeful storytelling. Like, don't ever just throw something that's special. Because again, the biggest and most cliche saying about instances like this, don't try to fix something that is not broken. It is doing
exactly.
well the way it is. It is a perfect package. Just keep it the way it is, because it works. It works.
And I feel
organically.
like Karrion Kross, he got a bad rap his first call up, if you remember. Like his first time he was like
When they wanted to make him a fucking gladiator.
he was like NXT champion for like 6 months or whatever, and then he loses in like 82 seconds or whatever it was to Jeff Hardy or something like that. And like, I understand him losing to Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's a big mega star, or was
But
at
to
that
bury
time.
him?
Yeah, I like
To
I
fucking bury him and make him wear these fucking weird ass fucking oh my god.
that was Vince McMahon for you, man. What can you say?
Byron Cutler or Cutler? Yeah, Byron Cutler. We Are Wrestling. I hope Triple H changes the Raw and SmackDown and NXT stage designs. Absolutely. With
Oh
all
my
things
god, bro.
changed.
Me too.
Absolutely. And I hope that they bring back the special stages for all of the pay-per-views as well. Like, Armageddon 2006 was one of my favorite pay-per-views just because of presentation itself. And then you add ladder matches and an Inferno match to that, and you got a beautiful fucking night.
What was the what was the Armageddon what year was the Armageddon pay-per-view where Jeff Hardy won? It had like the stage was like a fucking castle or something. I think it was
I
like
think it was 08 maybe.
08, 09.
08,
Bro,
09.
that stage was legit, man. It was
I
like a
think it was one of those
castle.
two.
It was like
Hell
a castle or
fucking yeah,
something.
dude. You know another fucking pay-per-view I really digged? No Way Out. No Way Out was fucking sick. No Way Out was fucking sick too, man. I miss those shits. And Judgment Day.
I remember one year they had like ambulances or whatever, and it was like sort of like
Yeah. Like a fucking like a murder scene, like a crime scene and shit. Hell fucking yeah, dude. I miss that shit. So yeah, I absolutely hope that they bring stages back. John Elite for life. What's up?
yeah, I was gonna talk about this for a second. Bringing back the old Raw and SmackDown sets.
Ooh, the fist. They still have it in the warehouse.
Yeah, but I heard that when they went HD or whatever, these stages didn't look as good. And like you could sort of like see a lot
See
of
the
the
imperfections.
imperfections and stuff like that. And that's why they go with like the full LED screens and everything. It's ridiculous. One of my favorites, Raw stages is it was the one from like 2004 to like maybe 2007. You know what I mean?
Same. It was very like metallic, very like like almost like industrial like very
Yeah,
industrial, like cranks, gears, like burnt fucking metal. Like so basically you're talking about like the cover to SmackDown versus Raw. Like the
yeah, pretty
OG
much.
covers of SmackDown where Vince was on the fucking cover and it was like a half blue, half red face, and then it was like the burnt and shattered glass. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I really, dude, SmackDown when it had the fist was the best stage presentation rather, because it was the most unique and it solidified SmackDown. Like you knew what show you were fucking watching. And that was just,
Absolutely.
oh my fucking god, dude. I miss it so much. And I hope for an anniversary one day they bring it back. I hope for a fucking anniversary they do it. I don't care.
That
At me.
that'd be lit. That'd
At
be
me,
lit.
bitch. Quote me.
Like we're not that bro. Like realistically, we only live like 2 hours away from Stamford, Connecticut, which is where the warehouse is. I would love to get
Let's
me,
go
you,
take
and
a
Don.
tour.
I would love to get me, you, and Donnie in there to do like a tour or whatever, and make that as like special content for the channel. That'd be pretty lit.
I don't know if WWE would. I mean, if we sign some papers and shit, like I'm pretty sure that they would allow us to do it as long as, we're
I know
definitely
that.
gonna if we do that, we're definitely making revenue off that video, and we're definitely gonna have to split the profits with WWE. I know for a fact because a lot of people will watch that shit, just like these amateur ass motherfuckers got into the kingdom of shits. The fuck?
That's why, bro. Like,
That'd be
I
amazing.
would. Do you realize like the more this channel grows, the more likely it is that we'd be able to get like press passes to like go all to all kinds of like
Man,
pro wrestling
let's
junkets
let's
and
not discuss our
I know.
fantasies on a live stream because
I
we're gonna
can't
have
help
these
it, man.
fucking
But
marks. These fucking marks.
hey, I am a fucking
No
mark, man. I don't give a
fucking
shit.
mark. Fire me, Tony.
I live for this shit, man.
I do too, man. I absolutely live and breathe this shit.
By
But
the way, for anybody that's watching right now, I will be live on my channel tonight for AEW Dynamite. It's my first live stream in almost 2 weeks because I threw my back out last week. So I was pretty much on my bed, not being able to
oh
move.
my
So
fucking god! All right, before we get into the fucking world's smallest violin story, I just want to fucking just move on before we get too clickbaity here, just for fucking clicks. I do want to talk about the White Rabbit discussion a little bit, so I'll let
yeah,
you.
man.
I'll let you start that and actually talk about it.
Bro, like Donnie doesn't like it, but I think it's because
I love it.
here I am about to bury our co-host. I don't think he quite. I don't. I'm about to bury.
I love it, like here I am about to bury our co-host.
I'm about to bury him like CM Punk buried the Young Bucks.
I'm sick. Call an ambulance. Oh my god. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
I don't think he quite understands the creative direction this is going. I said that the nicest way possible. Just know, Donnie, I love you.
Dude, I'm not even gonna fucking lie, guys. For any of you that may or may not still be watching, I just want to tell you that that is the biggest truth on this channel you will ever hear. Is usually in our private chats, he can get fucking brutal. So the fact that he just got that nice is he got that nice. He's literally tucking in our co-host before absolutely burying him alive. Usually he sets fire and just fucking walks away. So this is actually mercy. Danny, continue.
Hey man, I'm in like a program.
Ruthless aggression.
Our chat issues me ruthless aggression. That's a knee
Bitch
slapper.
slap. No, that's a Kurt slapper. And I'm a man who loves to play with boys. Kurt Angle absolutely burying the fuck out of himself, but
Bro,
comes back a new man every week.
You know what we should do?
What up, fam?
We should come on live sometime with like the really small cowboy hats and mimic Steve Austin and Kurt Angle during this segment.
I want to get APA shirts.
That'd be pretty
APA
legit.
shirts. Like,
Does
I really
WWE
do.
even sell them anymore?
I don't know, but I guarantee if I look hard enough, I can find them. But
Bro, there's one thing I want to talk about, man, and I think it's hilarious.
Excitement. Oh, it's a funny story. Okay, I'm down.
It's hilarious.
Story time.
For those of you that aren't like, you can ask Ben, you can ask Donnie. I'm very into like the news.
What are we
and,
asking
like,
me?
learning things or whatever.
Yeah,
you can ask them like 50 to 100 times a day. I'm always sending them articles of shit I find. Just because I want us to be able to have like I want us to be able to have a bunch of topic ideas at our disposal, because who knows, if we feel creative, we want to start recording, we want something cool to talk about. So I'm always sending them articles. So the other day, I don't know if how many people know this, but apparently Teddy Long went on a blocking spree and started
fucking god! I knew you were gonna fuck. Yeah, dude. But at the same time, his head might not be in the right place right now because his wife just passed away. So
that's not even the point.
I know, but still, like, why are you going on a?
He's selling a fucking shirt saying, "I just blocked you, player."
What? Are you serious?
Teddy Long.
What a fucking savage!
On Pro Wrestling Tees, bro. There's a shirt called "I blocked you, player."
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Bro, you can
Teddy
look
Long's
it up
out here wilding.
You can look it up right fucking now, bro. I'm dead one.
Bro,
I'm dead
what the fuck is wrong with this man?
This dude's like, shit, I got hacked. I'm making money off this shit.
I get grieving and all, but at the same time, Teddy, what are you doing, fam? What is you doing?
Just the fact that he made a shirt that said, "I just blocked," like he's fucking trolling everybody in the pro wrestling world, bro. Oh, dude, my 100. Goodness.
That's absolutely fucking gold.
I just thought that was fucking, bro. When I read that, I was dying laughing because everybody
hashtag died.
Everybody was saying that he was like hacked or whatever, and it wasn't really him because, like, why would Teddy Long be blocking everybody that's a pro wrestler? You know what I mean?
I don't understand it, man. Like he's just fucking absolutely just. I don't know, man. Teddy Long has always been an extroverted character for sure. Like he's always been kind of wacky. But this is a whole new fucking level of wacky, even for Teddy Long.
But realistically,
even for Teddy Long, though, bro.
How many people block people, people, whatever, on social media a day? That shirt will sell like fucking hotcakes.
Just got blocked, player. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. Talking shit about me, Danny? LOL. Oh,
I'm not talking shit about you, am
Donnie just caught your ass, fam. The co-host just fucking. Oh god.
Let's highlight his comment, man. You on your lunch break, bro?
You on your lunch break? Oh Jesus, they're about to go at it, playa. They're about to go at it right here on the We Are Wrestling live stream. They're about to fucking go at it. Let's go.
Oh.
Wait, what?
But
Oh.
What?
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, here's a fun little fact that I just kind of stumbled across. Sean Waltman will only make in-ring return for the Royal Rumble. So maybe X-Pac might be coming back this year. That might be a little hint. And obviously Triple H is in charge, so that could definitely be done. I am on my lunch break. And now you about to tear you apart. You about to have a knuckle sandwich for lunch, boy. You about to tear you apart for lunch. You about to have some Danny Huckins.
I buried you in the nicest way possible. You can ask.
He did.
You can ask Ben.
He
I
really
didn't
did
like.
bury you in the
I
nicest
didn't.
way
I didn't.
possible.
I didn't like light you up in flames and just laugh. I was pretty much just saying like you're not into this whole white rabbit thing because you don't quite understand it.
Oh
But I
shit!
mean, not a lot of people are. But I mean, it's the most creative thing that WWE has done in years.
Like I
You know
said,
what
it
I
gives
mean?
me a lot of Jericho vibes, bro, from '07. He said, "I got my peanut butter and jelly." Haha. Hell yeah, boy.
That's what's up, bro.
That's that
That's what's up,
fucking
man.
spank bank sandwich.
Donnie, how long have you been here? Because like I'm gonna bring this story. I'm gonna bring the story up once again in
He's gonna
case you
go
didn't
full
hear it.
circle with it.
But I want to know about the whole. I want to know if you how much you heard.
How
Because I
much
don't
did you
know.
hear, Donald?
I don't know. Because I don't know if you came in late to where like it was at the tail end of what I was saying and laughing. That's why you think I was burying you.
That's why you think.
I'm just very curious.
I know you weren't talking shit, just stirring the pot. Yeah, that's right. You
Pretty
stir that
much,
pot.
man.
Very curious. I know you weren't talking shit, just stirring the pot.
Bro, I
Yeah,
hear
just stir
myself.
that
What's
pot.
going on?
Sorry, I was watching the live stream on my phone for a second there because I wanted to see how many people were in because you refused to say it.
You don't see it up in the fucking corner where the time is?
No, bitch, you're the one that has the fucking shit.
Oh, we have 3 people in here.
Yeah, I know. I know, fam.
I know, fam. But
Yeah, talk about the white rabbit now. The white rabbit, the white rabbit. Talk about it. You must talk about it before we exit out of the live stream, mate.
there's there's just so much to digest. Like between the QR codes, between that little game you have to play with the rabbit that go, you have to wait till the flames go by and you have to like get the rabbit through this red door and just like all the subtle hints with like, now there's a YouTube channel from like 2006, bro. Like Bray Wyatt wasn't even a pro wrestler back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like how
Absolutely.
unless because I know if you make if you make a YouTube channel, you have like 2 different you can like make another channel off of your main channel and it'll come back
Oh.
like if you just made it today, it'll come back saying whenever you've made your first channel like 2006. So maybe this is a new video or new channel, but then that doesn't explain the whole Jefferson Airplane video that has 15
Jefferson
million
Airplane.
views from 15 years ago. Unless
See, I don't
they
know how he's
found a
gonna do this.
unless they found a way to contact YouTube and be like, "Hey, this is what we want to do. Is there any way you guys can manipulate the time the video was uploaded and the amount of views it has?" But I don't. There's so many things running through my mind. Like I have
Yeah.
no idea.
I just 100% think that he will reemerge at Extreme Rules officially. Like I think that's where we're landing at with his return. 100 because it just makes too much. It makes so much sense, and we're literally so close to the pay-per-view. It's not this weekend; it's the weekend after.
Mhm.
The 8th, right, or something like that.
Yeah, but I just feel like he's not anywhere near done. I feel like this is like going to be a whole combination of like things that happen in
I don't think
between.
they're gonna drag it out that long because people are gonna start to get really fucking sick of it. I don't think Triple H will make that mistake. He wastes
Probably
no
not,
time, bro.
but
He lets it
like
simmer and then boom.
I love Triple H, man, but hands down, I don't think there's anybody in that company as creative enough to come up with this whole scheme more than Bray Wyatt. So I
Absolutely.
think Bray Wyatt has I think Triple H was, Bray Wyatt told Triple H what he wanted to do, and he pretty much gave Bray Wyatt the fucking reins and sort of explain how he wants this whole thing to go down. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
But it's nuts, man. What is your take? Like, what you obviously you know where you think the end goal is going to be Extreme Rules, which
Yeah.
does make sense. But where do you think it go? Do you think it'll? How long before we start getting like some kind of vignettes to like have it 100% confirmed that okay, this
Friday
is
before the show.
definitely Wyatt.
The Friday before the show.
So
100%.
a day before.
The day before we're going to be getting like almost absolute confirmation, and it's going to have something to do with something. Like you can't have
Extreme Rules on Saturday this year, right? The 8th.
I believe
I
so,
can't
yes.
remember.
Yep. So I will say that it's gonna pan out all the way till the Friday before, and then it's gonna happen at Extreme Rules. I think Friday is gonna be our strongest indicator. Like next Friday is gonna be the strongest indicator. That's kind of put the nail in the coffin, and it's really gonna tell us everything we need to know. And then at some point we'll see we'll see the end game that Saturday. So I think that's my take on it, man.
Damn, man. If Donnie was still here in the chat, I would say
He's got to edit.
I would have him post his 2 cents, but I don't know, man. I'm curious to see where it goes. Like I'm really enjoying this because anybody can do vignettes, you know. Anybody.
It takes a special person to have a long-term storytelling with actual like depth and structure. So I agree.
And that's what I feel like this is. I just don't feel like people quite grasp what is actually happening. You know what I mean?
100, man.
And it also doesn't make sense that majority of this White Rabbit stuff outside of the QR codes is happening during commercial breaks. So nobody at home sees it. You know what I mean? Except for like people actually like videoing it with their cell phone or something. That part is kind of tricky to me. I'm not quite sure.
No, I got you, man.
But I don't know, man. We're gonna have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, man.
Yep.
But
All we can do is check out every show.
You got anything else you want to cover?
No, we got it all, man. That's basically the biggest story right now in terms of WWE and what we're willing to expect from Bray Wyatt. So that's all I got, man.
It's only the two of us, so it's probably going to be a shorter show than it usually is. But hopefully Donnie will be able to join us next week, and there'll be 3 opinions instead of just mine and yours. So
absolutely, man.
Don't forget Danny H Vlogs tonight, 8 p.m. I will be live.
Shit out, boy.
If you care to join me, links in the description. We'll be watching AEW Dynamite, and check out Ben's channel, The Lone Rager. You guys can see the username underneath his video feed.
Yep.
So
go check us out. Smash those like buttons. Make sure to subscribe again to all of our channels down below. And as always, make sure you're part of the thousands. Smash the like button. Turn on those post bell notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And remember, we are taking over. Peace out, ladies and gents. It's been a good live. Have a good one.
Have a good day, everybody. See you guys tonight. AEW Dynamite, 8 p.m. Danny H Vlogs.
We are wrestling.